Good morning, welcome to Move More Reimagined. I think we're week 11. Next week we're halfway. And so next week we're going to be looking at doing some assessments with you, but we're going to change it slightly. So I'll go through it with you shortly. But you will need a pen and paper with you next week. So please make sure you've got that. As always, make sure you've got some water by you or to drink in case you need it. It's quite warm. And make sure you've got lots of space around you. Now, last week we did say we might be trying to go to the wall. So if you can get to the wall today, we will. If not, I'll give you options against the chair. But it's really important because normally if we were in class live in a live setting, this week we would be starting to get you on the floor or look towards getting you on the floor. So going through those processes of dropping the knee down and then the other knee down. So we'll send you the video of how to do that again. For you to practice at home if you're able to do so. But everything that we do is working towards that point of not just getting you on the floor, but getting you off the floor. So as always, we're going to work through our circulation boost to get your bodies warm and your joints and your muscles warm before we start. So feet are wider than your hips, and we're going to hip walk to the front third of the chair, and then we're going to hip walk to the back. So this can be a really good way to start to move your body, start to warm your hips up. And I will come up to standing quite quickly for those of you that feel ready to. But if you feel like you need to sit down still a bit longer today, then feel free to do that as well. There's always those options. And we know that some days you might not be as good as other days. And even if you've been up standing the week before, you might not feel like it today. And that's fine. You need to listen to your own bodies. So what I should see now is a bigger movement side to side, lifting and shifting the bottom, forwards and back, forwards and back. That's it. So it's a sway, it's a wide base sway, and I'm lifting up my bottom. And this is how we come forwards and backwards in the chair when you want to get out of your chair. None of this sliding forwards, okay, none of that. It's quite difficult to pull yourself up. Okay, when you get to the front third, stay there. Let's work through posture. So feet wide, and just take your feet forwards a little bit so you've got a nice stable base of support. And we like to think of it as a triangle. Okay, so if you feel like you might totter one side, you've got your leg to steady you. Okay, so pelvic floor. Pull the pelvic floor, so the muscles in your bottom and from your spine, from your coccyx all the way up to the belly button, really, if you can, without holding your breath. And then just release. So it's quite a big movement, but it's not something I should see. You keep going, just shutting the door. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay. And then we're going to lift through the torso. So lift through the trunk and then open out the shoulder blades. Breathe, relax those shoulders. So people say, what do you mean relax my shoulders? I mean, don't hold them high, drop them down and send your shoulder blades down and back. So down towards, as if you were sending them into your jeans pockets behind you. And then breathe, tuck the chin back a little bit. Sometimes we sit with our chins forwards and it gives you a bit of an exaggerated arch in the neck. Okay, then let's take our hands to the side. We're going to lift the shoulders and then drop them gently. So slowly drop them down. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. And then we're going to come into that shoulder circle. So up to your ears. And I want you to do this really slowly, back and down. So if I had jeans on, I'd be lifting, I'd be sending my hands almost into my pockets. Okay, so the hands go back and the arms go towards the back side of your body to really open out through the chest. And keep breathing. And that feels quite nice, doesn't it? That's it. And I sleep on my tummy, so quite often I wake up in the morning and my back's been arched because I sleep like that. Or like that, what was he called? Bring Me Sunshine. I sleep like that. Is it Eric Morecambe? I can't remember. So it feels nice too just move the shoulders. Okay, let's lift the heels, starting to bring some movement, some circulation around the body. And what does this do? This pushes the blood up through your calves, your thighs, to your heart, to your brain. It sends oxygen around your body, and we start to get warmer, and our muscles are ready to get moving. So heel lift, lifting, lifting. That's it. And then let's bring in the opposite arm. Just a relaxed arms. Nothing too fast. Just swing them. Feel the shoulders just dropping down. That's it, lovely. Fabulous. Okay, now we're going to just work through ankles. I'm not sure you can see. Podge, you might need to just come to foot camera. And Cliff, I'm not sure how you're going to do this in standing. You might want to do one at a time. So toes out, heels out, toes out, heels out if you can. Just go to as far as you can comfortably. You kind of look like a frog when you get to one there. Here. Heels in, toes in, heels and toes. And then really lift the toes, really lift the heels, toes, heels, heels, toes, heels and toes. And then back to your march. So a big march, big arms, peel the feet off the floor, peel them, not a stamp, it's a peel. So it's just lifting the heels for now. Breathe, smile, it's Monday. Okay, keep the feet nice and still. We're going to send one arm to me and the other elbow pulls back. I'll show you from the side. So push, pull, push, pull. Eye gaze follows, comes towards the back, elbow, working through the torso, the waist, the bottom of the ribs. That's it. Are your feet still wide? Have they sneaked in? And then back to your march. Gentle march. Keep going. Sorry, I'm ever so hot. Keep going. Open the door. Oh, sunshine. I love the sun. Do you love the sun? Does it make you feel happy? It makes me smile when it's sunny. That's it. Good. Okay, more ankles. So this is one of my favourite exercises ever, ankle movements. So I'm going to come up to standing and do it. You can stay seated or you can join me in standing. So I'm going to ask Podge to come to the foot camera, if that's okay. So I'm going heel toe. So heel, toe, heel, toe. Podge, are you there? Heel, toe, heel, toe. Now, my supporting leg is soft. What do I mean by that? I've not locked out, so watch my leg. So that's locked. I've got a straight, stiff knee. I don't want that. I want it slightly bent. Okay, so heel digs in, and then the toe taps in the same place. Podge, can you go to foot camera, please? Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, no? Okay, that's fine. Heel, toe. And then we're going to swap sides. So just take a moment and then come to the other side. Heel, toe, heel. Good morning, people.
Can you see it now or what?
Good morning, Lily.
Yeah, I can see it.
Heel, toe, heel, toe. So trying to get the foot on the same place. And what is this doing? So this is moving your ankles, mobilising the ankles so that when we step later, you have that mobility in your ankle. I don't know if you come downstairs in the morning and it kind of feels really stiff and sore. This is what we should be doing before we get out of bed or sitting on the edge of the bed before you're going downstairs. But certainly before we do some bigger movements. Okay, and then come to a march. If you're seated,
Yeah, you should be standing on up while you sit down.
you can stay seated if you've just joined us. Stay sitting if you want, because we're just warming up. You can perform all of this class in seated, or most of it, and I'll give you some options. So just gently lifting the heels, the toes off the floor, marching with the arms. Now opposite arm is much easier when you're standing. You probably don't even have to think about it. But in seated, it's much more difficult. Okay, keep the feet nice and still, nice and wide. Swing those arms. So no legs, because we're going to come to shoulder movement shortly. So I need to make sure they're nice and mobile. Now, I'm going quite fast and I shouldn't be. I get carried away. I get excited. So slow it down. What we're looking for is this movement. So into the shoulder, it comes back behind me and in front. So up to my ear, back to my hand, back to my hip. And then opposite. That's it. You can do it all in seated. If you need to sit down and stop, have a breather, you can. You don't need to ask permission. You can stop and have a drink at any point. And if any point you feel dizzy or wobbly, please sit down. Okay, back to that heel lift. Okay, feet come wide. Hands down by your sides, sliding, one hand down. And if you can, lift the other elbow back to center, reset, pull those muscles in the belly in, sliding down. Now I'll show you from the side. So I'm literally dropping to the side. I'm not going forwards, okay? Side, which restricts that movement, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that stretch into the waist, into the ribs, which you won't get if you lean forwards or back. Keep those knees nice and soft. Keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath. It helps to breathe out on the way down, actually, because then you get rid of all the air in your lungs and it gives you a bit more room. But don't worry too much. I don't want you to overthink it. And then let's do that forward. So I want you to slide one down the front and one down the back. And then swap sides. So actually we'll stay on one side. So down the back of the thigh, up the front of the hip. Forwards. And this gives you a little stretch in a different area of the back of the hip. Spine. Fabulous. And then hands change. Forwards and back. Keep the knees soft. So it's not too far. Don't go so far that it makes you sore. It's just a little one. It's just a little stretch, that's all. It's not even a stretch, mobilizing. Okay, and back to the heel lift. And then we've got one more. Little hula hoop, half a hula hoop. So bend the knees and put my hands on my hips so you can see. So I'm going to the side, coming forwards, to the side, center. And then I'm going back the other way. So side, forwards, side, center. Side, in a semicircle, to center, side, semicircle, center. Let's go one more each way. Last one. Okay, and then come to your march. So that's your warm up, your circulation boost done. So we're moving on to endurance. Now, we've been adding in our fartlek, which is your interval training, but we're going to spend quite a long time doing the chair, so lunging to the chair. So I'm going to leave out fartlek today, just because I don't want to overcook you, as it were. So we're going to come into a tap. So you can always be in front of your chair. If you're sitting, you can do exactly the same movements. What we're doing is we're building gradually the heart rates so that we can do it safely. Again, you can go really slowly, but my body is central. I'm tapping my foot out to the side, and it's slightly forwards, okay? Posture check, so always come to that posture check. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Lovely, keep going. Okay, then into a march. You okay, Stuart? Yep. Gentle march. So what we do here is it's a recovery but we're keeping the heart rates at a, oh, I've got somebody in 3 times. Catherine, I've got you in 3, oh no I haven't. Dodo's in twice, sorry, Dodo's in twice. Oh, how lovely. Okay, so we're going to step, tap, step together, step wide, step together. And sometimes it helps to say it. Otherwise you kind of go, what are we doing? It's a step and then step that foot together. And you can be right in front of your chair, slide the hand across. I need you to be safe. So whatever you need to do to be safe, slide, step together, step together. Let me look at you lovely people. Step together. So lots of people on our Zoom class joining in. If you're doing it at home, do what you can. Step together. So we're not particularly lifting the knees up yet, but we'll come into that in a second. Okay, and then back to your recovery march. This is your time to get your breath back. Try not to hold your breath in any of these exercises, please. So you can do all of this in seated, maybe not a double step, but you could just adapt it and do a single step. So now we're going into a double step. We've progressed quite a lot. Unless you're new to us, then stay with the single steps. No, if you are new to us, stay with the single steps. If you've been with us a while, a double step. What does that sound like? So step together, and don't step on your furniture like I did. Step together, step. And you
can I just check in with Shirley? You okay?
Shirley, are you okay? Where is she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Thank you. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Nick's in the background and she's kind of watching, not in a nasty way. She's looking to make sure that you're all okay while I'm teaching. And if you're not, then pop a message in the chat or just put your hand up and we'll have a chat. So we're just making sure that everybody joining in is safe and okay to keep going. Okay, back to your march. So if you just need to lift, you don't need to do arms. If you're feeling puffed out, always take your arms out. Okay, so we're going to go step over your cat. You've got 2 cats today. So you've got 1 cat and then you've got another cat, little monkeys. So step over and the second leg needs to come over. You don't want to kick it. Poor thing. Step over together and bear in mind when you're together, when your feet are together, this is when you're most likely to be unsteady. So if you've got something in front of you, slide that hand. Or if you're by a wall, then just slide along. So I could kind of go step, step. So lots of options, but I want you to pick up and over and let's slow it down now. So step up and over, up and over, up and over and over. Lovely. If you're sitting, you might want to lean back and just try and step over 1 cat or dog. Guinea pig, whatever you might have, a small child. Mine's the dog's toys. A monkey or a ball. Okay, back to a march. Fabulous. Okay, we're just going to come into some higher knees. So depending on what you've got going on, if you've got painful hips, you might just want to lift, come into a march, but if you can, I'm going to encourage you to lift the knees in front. Now, what do we need to do? Rest those shoulders back and down, pull the muscles in your belly in. The muscles in the front here help to lift those knees. So not fast, small, slow and controlled. And the legs are coming in front of you, so knees are in front. You can do it in the chair, so if you're in the chair, I would like you to sit at the front third of your chair and lift. It just takes the pressure off your hips, because if you're sitting upright, it's like, it's quite difficult. Lift, slowly, lift, lift. And only go as high as you can comfortably go. and without rounding your spine or sticking your bottom out. That's it. Good. And then a little march. Great. And then we're going to lunge. I love a lunge. So I'm coming behind my chair. You can go on one side or alternate. And I'm going to step forwards, take my weight into my front leg and push back. So you can stay on one side. I'll show you the seated option, or you can change sides. But if you've been doing this a while, you might be able to step a bit further forwards and use the power to push back. If not, a smaller step and a push back is as good. So do what you can. In seated, you're at the front third of your chair, you're stepping forwards, leaning in. Or another option is a staggered sit and a little bunny hop here. Just a little gentle lean and squeeze and then changing sides. Otherwise, lunge. Lunges are so good for you. We use lunges to get us on the floor and off the floor. It's part of it's called backward chaining. And we showed you last week how to get up off the floor. And it builds the muscles in the thighs. And can you see why we've warmed up the ankles? Because here, we're stepping and we're bending the knees forwards, and you need to have that mobility through the ankles before you can do this comfortably. So if you wanted to do it on one side, just a small step. Lovely. Oh, good morning. Is that Anita? Oh, I didn't see you there, Anita. Did you sneak in, or have you been there all the time? Lovely. Great. So lots of options. Fabulous. And then just a gentle march, bringing it down a little bit. So we can't just bring your heart rates up and then go straight into balance. That's when you might feel a bit puffed out, you might feel a bit dizzy or faint. We have to bring your blood pressure down, your pulse rate down slowly, safely. So let's go back to the step. So we're moving. It's not particularly difficult, but we're still moving your body. Your pulse is lifted still, but it's coming down. And you might find that you were a bit puffed out then. And hopefully, as you recover, you should be able to breathe more normally. Speak to somebody if they said, "Are you okay?" Relax the shoulders. Good. And then we're going to come into balance shortly. Da, da, da. Little step, little step. And then we're going to keep our feet nice and wide into, just transfer the weight side to side and tap. So it's like a sway. Not a tap, sorry, lift the heel. Lift the heel, pull those muscles in. Relax the shoulders, smile, you've done the hard bit, nearly. And then let's add those sway arms, those lovely sway arms, and the palms face up, which takes that tension out of the shoulders. And we push up, 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 da, 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 like you're batting a balloon up to the ceiling. Fabulous. Da, da. And then just one arm. And then no arms. Relax the shoulders. Breathe. And then you should be hopefully back to normal. If you're not, and you need to take another moment just moving, then do grab a drink if you want to. We're going to come into balance. So I'll give you a moment. Let me just grab a drink. So what are we doing today? We're going to continue with our Flamingo. We're going to continue on our toes and heels, and we're going to walk. So if I had you in a community class, if you came to class, we'd be walking around the room by now. We'd be walking and dodging, round chairs and things. You walk into class, so we you know, it's not something that we wouldn't ask you to do something that you wouldn't be able to do normally. So let's set up. So normally in balance, feet are wider, but to challenge your balance, we need to be in a narrow step. So you've got some options. So Flamingo is, I'm holding onto my chair or I'm resting my hand here. I don't want you to grip onto it for dear life. So hand on, or you can hover or just put one finger on or two. I'm away from my chair far enough so that if I need to, it can support me without me pulling it. I'm going to work on my outside leg. So what does that look like? I'm going to take my foot back. I'm going to lift through my posture. I'm going to send my shoulders back and down. You can stay here or you can lift the foot. So I'm relaxing off my toes, otherwise if they're tight I might give myself some cramp. And it looks like a swing, so you're brushing something off your shoe. Now I'm not twisting, I'm not allowing my hips to move sideways, and I'll show you the seated option in a second. We're just lifting the knee in front, squeezing the heel towards the bottom. To come out, what do? That compensatory step. We step out wide, land safely and steadily. Okay, you can do that at any point. In seated, you'd come to the front third of your chair and you might just want to lift that leg and just hold, or send the leg back and hold, or you can swing a little bit. It's quite difficult in the chair, so to just lift that leg and get that sense of imbalance and take that other foot in, but make sure that you can step wide or hold on to something. Okay, we're going to go again. So step away from the chair far enough, take that foot back. You can stay here the whole time. You can hover or reduce that pressure, that sense of holding on and keeping you balanced. Lift the heel. You can stay here. Tuck the belly in. Lift, squeeze, slide, swing. So you might feel a little stretch through the front of the hip. That's what we want. But we're thinking about balance, and I want you to think about, if I'm wobbly, what am I going to do? I'm going to step out wide to recover, and I'm safe and steady to go whichever direction I want. Okay, a couple of little marches round to the other side of the chair as we come to the other side. So again, same things apply. You might be weaker on one side. You might need to make some adaptations. So you might need to hold on a bit more. You might need to press down. So foot comes back. I'm going to swing that heel back. You can hold it there. Swing. So try to keep your hips facing forwards. So you're not swinging around here, okay? Forwards, eye gaze forwards, shoulders relaxed and down. Doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be high. Remember, what we're going to do to stay steady is step nice and wide. And even if you can just do a couple of swings, that's great, or just one. Or just take that foot behind you. Come into a little march. Or just a heel lift, not even a march. Just lift the heels, and it just takes that tension away from the hips. If you're seated, if you're sitting, then just come onto the other side. Are you okay, Cliff? Give me a thumbs up. Oh. Yeah, you're having a sit down. So the other side is here, and it might be you lift the heel or lift in front and then step nice and wide. Okay, so let's go again. Step away, and if you were okay that time, maybe just put 2 fingers on or 1 finger, or hover. Take that foot behind, or you might still need to press. You might be in between 2 chairs. That's fine. Whatever you're doing with whatever you need to do is fine. And if you maintain for weeks and weeks, that's fine, because it's about building confidence as well. As much as improving balance, it's about building confidence, learning about your body, and knowing what you're able to do, and those recovery steps. So I'm going to step out, ready, step out nice and wide, and then wiggle through the hips to release and rest. Okay, we're going to reach. So I think, was it Friday? I said to you I was in my shoe cupboard and I had to, so we always think about what you need to do. So I was squatting. Now I don't want you to do this. I was squatting in my shoe cupboard and then I had to reach right to the back into the dreaded shoe cupboard that nobody likes. Right to the back, and I almost had to get on my hands and knees, and then I had to come out. So reaching is really important, either whether it's up or down. And there's certain techniques that will help you to do that. So we're going to progress this week. So feet are wider than hips. Come in front of your chair, or in seated, same. You might want to take your feet forwards. We're going to come forwards onto the balls of your feet. Lower down. That's all I want you to do. Balls of the feet and down. Now, there's a little tip. Put the weight, focus the weight through the big toe, second toe. And that will create stability in your ankle. If your weight's out, your foot's kind of going all over the place. Just try it. And that's when you can go over on your ankles. So weight through the big toe, second toe, lower down. Keep the knees slightly bent, so nice soft knees. Belly's tucked in. Lovely posture. Up and down. And if you only do it a couple of times, that's fine. If you're seated, just lift the heels and lean forwards. Okay, so don't come up onto your toes yet. I want you to reach forwards with one hand and come back down. If you've got a sore shoulder or restricted movement, do what you can. It might mean that you just reach forwards. So we're reaching up as if you're going in your cupboard. Up as if you're going in your cupboard. And then we start to lift the heels at the same time, only if you're able to do so. If it's too much, honestly, just come onto your toes. You don't need to reach, but it does give you a good sense of that imbalance. And once you feel imbalanced, this is where the challenge comes in. This is where improvements happen, especially when you have those tips to help you to stay steadier. So wide feet, weight press through your big toe, second toe is going to help you be balanced. Only if you feel confident doing that, try it without coming on your balls of your feet. Reach with both hands. So I'm not lifting my heels. You can do this in seated. You just sit forwards, reach. And then if you're comfortable, if you're confident, slowly lift the heels, and it's for a moment. And down, slowly. Squeeze the thighs together and down. So this is quite progressed. It's progressed. You know what I mean. You've come on quite quickly because we've been doing this for a couple of weeks and normally it's a bit further down the road. Okay, rest. So I want you to just lift the heels. So anything with arms above the head can make you a bit puffed out. So just lift the heels. Well done. And I want to work on that reach down as well. So we've been practicing the lunges, so I want you to have something to support you. I want you to take a step out. Now we're not imagining we're getting something off the floor. Imagine you've got a stool and you need to get something off that stool. So you're reaching forwards about 45 degrees. Reaching forwards, bringing it in and then stepping back. Let's stay on the same side. Step out so it's to a diagonal. It's a reach forwards. Bring it back to your body, step wide, step out, reach. So you keep your eye gaze towards your hands, so you're coming towards the floor, that's it. Or imagine you've got a dog there and you want to give him a little snuggle, a little ruffle. So you're not reaching right down to the floor. It's a lunge, reach, back, last one this side, step, reach to the body. Lovely. Let's change sides. So take your time to change sides. I'll show you in seated. So I'm going to wiggle to the front third, hip walk to the front third. I'm stepping out to the corner. I'm reaching forwards. I'm bringing it back to my body, stepping back in. Step, reach. So you can see that I'm not kind of bending, I'm not curving my spine or looking right down. I'm protecting my spine, reaching forwards, coming up, stepping in. That's it, keep going. Step, reach, And you know, you might need to do this for all sorts of reasons. I don't know. Getting in your bathroom cupboard. So I've got a tall bathroom cupboard and the bleach is at the bottom. And all the cleaning stuff. But the toilet rolls are at the top. Shoe cupboard. Have you got a dreaded shoe cupboard? Or the back of your cupboard. You know, where you keep your, I don't know. You keep all the stuff you don't use and then one day you need it and you're like, oh, I've got to get in there. Right, hold it there. Have a rest. And then I just want to do a little bit of a toe walk. And I know we've come on, actually we won't do toes, we'll do heels because we've come onto the toes. So either by a wall or holding on to something, having something there to support you. I need to get out of the way of this. Thank you. So I'll show you from the side. Thanks, Podge. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to think posture. I'm not going to stick my, pardon? Lift. Okay, lift my toes, drop them. That's it, lift and drop. So I'm not sticking my bottom out. I'm keeping my long spine, and you need to just have something to hold you, because what might happen is you want to fall back, you might fall back and you need to step back. So be prepared to step back. These trainers won't let me because they push my feet forwards. In seated, you're at the front third of your chair. You're going to lift your toes and lean back. Okay, lift your toes, lean back. That's it. But you can see that if I had a wall, so you can practice this at home. If I had a wall, I've got that to fall back onto. So that's your kind of safety part. Otherwise, lift and lower. So my whole body, stays in alignment. If you need to step back, that's what you do. Okay, and then have a sit down. Grab a drink, have a sit down, because we're going to move on to sit to stand, step away, lunge, knee drop. But I want you to sit and have a rest first. And I'll show you what I want you to do if you're not joining in. So you can always, we have sent this, I did send this last week, I think, the video. So if you haven't looked at it, then you've got it, but we'll maybe send it out again. So practice in your own time at home and do what you can. So some people can't drop their knee to the floor, and that's okay. Some people say, I've been told I can't put my knee on the floor. Depends how long ago it was. If it was 20 years ago when you had a knee replacement, you might be okay to drop your knee to the floor, or you might want to just find a nice soft chair and start just resting your knee on to get that feeling, because sometimes they're super sensitive, and it might be that we just need to build up that tolerance. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. I want you to just watch first. So we're going to hip, and we did it last week, hip walk to the chair, to the front third. Don't do it, hip walk. Feet come back, we know this. Lean forwards, push up, pump the heels, take your time. We're going to step away, and we're going to keep repeating this. Wait, don't do it yet, I just want you to watch. So I'm going to take a big step to my chair. So my chair is out on the outside, it's touching the leg of the chair. So let me just show you here. So when I'm stepping forwards, I'm still in that wide base. If I was to step narrow, I'm literally going to fall. So nice wide step. My back heel is behind me. Hands come down to the chair. I'm going to swap sides so you can see. And what I want you to practice is this knee down. You don't have to go down. You could have like a chair or a stool. What we would do in class is we would have a couple of blocks, and I'd say try and get your knee there, and I'd go, and you might go there and there, and that's kind of a halfway point. Some of you will be able to get that knee onto the floor, but it's quite a big movement. It's a big movement coming back up. But what are we doing coming back up? I'm pressing through the foot. I'm squeezing the muscles in this thigh. I've curled my toes under, and I'm pushing through that back leg. Okay? Then I take the weight forwards and bringing that foot in. This is where you might feel dizzy. So you can take your time, you've got all the time in the world here. Pump your heels, sends the blood up to your brain. You've always got your legs, or some things push up. Pump the heels again to send the blood up to your brain, stop you feeling dizzy. Turn around, what's the rule here? Feel the chair behind both of your knees, stick your bottom out, sit down and rest if you need to. And then we'll repeat. So I'm going to make sure I go on the other leg so you can join me. So we're going to hip walk forwards. If you're not joining me, take a band, hip walk forwards in the chair, and then when we come to the leg lunges, take the band across and just come into some leg presses. Okay, so let's talk you through it. Hip walk. Feet come behind the knees, lean forwards, push up to standing and pump those heels. Take your time. This is not a race. You can go in your own time as well. So I'm going to lead with my other leg this time. So I'm stepping forwards. I'm going to take a few steps to turn around to face my chair. My other leg is going to step forwards to the outside edge of my chair. I'm going to take my hands to the chair. My arms are fairly straight. Keep them straight as you bend that back knee and just drop it towards the floor and straighten it. And just a couple of times, bend and straighten. If you can, take that knee down, but you don't have to. And a push up. Take that knee down, press it up, and then bring that foot in. You can either bring it in a few little steps. Take your time. Here, you can pump your heels or squeeze your toes. Hands come up the thighs. Walk up to standing. Eye gaze forwards. Breathe. Take a few steps round. Whoops, don't step on a ball. Feel the chair behind your knees. Stick your bottom out slowly down into a full back rest. If you haven't done the other side, let's do the other side, or you can just watch. If you don't want to join in, watching is not as effective, but it's really good to watch so that if you were in that situation, you could get yourself up off the floor. So we're going to hip walk forwards, feet come back. Now, if you're struggling to get up, try taking your feet back a little bit more, looking forwards and up, and then lifting the heels. Fabulous. Lifting the heels slowly. Don't rush. Lovely. And those of you with long legs, it's much harder to get up out of that chair. Take a step away. Take your time. There's no rush. Breathe. Turn. Lovely, David. Good. Turn around to face your chair. Take your time. You don't need to keep up with me. I'm going to take a big step forwards. Hold on to my chair. You might need to wiggle that back foot back a little bit more. And it might not be as easy on one side. So I'm bending my knee. My arms stay straightish, fairly straight. Bend your knee at the back so it comes down towards the floor. The other knee will bend, but I don't want you to think about that. That's it, lovely, like Lily. So if you don't want to come all the way down, you can have the back of the chair. And it means you don't go down so far, but you get that feel, and that might be just the starting point for you as you bend and lift, bend and lift. If you want to, you can drop that knee down, lift up, drop down and up, and then bring that foot in, pump the heels, come up to standing, take your time. Take your time. We're going to turn around. Feel the chair behind both your knees. Stick your bottom back. Sit down. Breathe. Well done. So that's getting down onto the floor. I've sent you the video of how we get up again. Shall I show you again? It's good to just watch. If you haven't joined in, it's good to watch. So if I was to get onto the floor, da, 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 there's my chair. Knee down, swing that other knee around. Hands down, walk back. hands wide. Sit onto the hip. Take the hand down, drop that shoulder. Here, support the head. We normally do some little exercises, but you might as well. Lift in into clam. Don't do it now, don't join me. I'm just demonstrating. It's good for you to, oh, Max is in. You can if you want, Max, that's fine. But I'm just showing people who it's a bit quick to do it today, so I don't want you to. And then straight leg. These are all great exercises. I have sent them to you for your hips. We do the other side. To get up. So this is the important part. If you had fallen, check your body. If you're okay to get up, then we take one hand to the front. We want to come onto the elbow. You can't fall anymore, so you're pretty safe here. Check your body, take your time. You need to let your blood pressure just rise gently. And you might be a bit shell-shocked, so you need to look after yourself. So we're going to push down on this hand. I'm going to take this on hand behind me. I'm going to lift my hips and come onto my knees. Walk forwards, hands on the chair. This is the bit we've been practicing. This foot comes around, curl my toes under, push up. Bring that foot in, pump the heels, come up to standing, sort yourself out, take your time. Turn around. You could always hold on to something, or you could always stay just stood for a while. Sit down, recover. Okay. I just wanted to show you some press-ups. I don't want to leave it, but we're running out of time. So, actually, I won't do press-ups. I don't want to rush them. We'll do them next week. Because next week we're going to get you to do assessments. I'm not going to count them for you, so that's why you need a pen and paper. So the assessments next week, while you have a breather, the assessments next week are sit to stand in 30 seconds. Now, if you can only do one or none, that's fine. We still need to record that. What does it look like? So you need to set a timer, and we will do it with you. I'll set a timer next week. I'll get you to do it if you're able to. And then you just write down your score and send it to me. So it looks like, please don't join in today. It looks like this, and we'll do it at the beginning of class because we need to do it at certain times so that you're not too warm. Feet come back, and I'm going to set the timer and I'm going to go, right, 1, 2, 3. But you can see I'm sitting right back and my weight is not on my feet. But don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Here. So it's not it's not like, that's cheating. Push up, sit down. And if you can't do it, that's fine. If you can't do it safely, or if you can't do it without kind of pushing up, then that's fine. Don't do it, just let us know that. The other one is we stand up away from the chair, and you might want to have 2 chairs. You might want to have a chair facing you. And I just need you to count the amount of steps it takes you to turn 180 degrees. So to turn to face your chair. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can do it again to get back. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I don't want is this. 1. Okay. That's a bit unsafe, isn't it? So I need you to be safe. And if it means you kind of take 10, 12, that's fine. I don't mind. We just need to get a measure of how many it's taken you, and then step back and come back to the chair. So that's what we'll be doing next week. I'll try and send you out a recording of those so that we're prepared for next week. So we've done quite a lot with you, I think, today. So we're going to do seated Tai Chi, and then we'll relax you and just do some breathing work. So feet come wide and in front of you. Breathe in and out. And let's just bring our hands together, lift just to your chest and float down. Lift to the chest, float down. And as you lift, try to breathe in. But if that breathing with me stresses you out, then just go in your own speed. So shoulders are relaxed. It's a good way to recover from the session. It's not woo-woo, it's just breathing, moving your bodies.
Shirley, you okay? Yep.
Lovely, okay. So we're going to bring the hands together, fingertips, palms, open out. Bring them round, together. Fingertips, palms, open out, round, together. Push, open, round, together. Oh, I didn't do it right then. Push, out. Breathe. So nothing too big, strong, just in your own time. Lovely. Hands come in into a fist and we push, turn the palm down. Come back, lift the palm. So it's a push to me, and rotation through the arm. Lovely. Then we're going out to one side, out, other side, both arms, and again both arms. Lovely. Let's go forwards. So forwards with one arm, other side. Let's go again. Let's go out to the side. Just lower it down, Catherine, if it's too sore. You can always come down here. And then we're going to go both arms out. Lovely. Hands come together. Push, press down. Together. And one more. Settle, just breathe. I want you to just stay sitting upwards because we're just going to breathe. Close your eyes. Then just turn the head as if you were looking over one shoulder. Breathe out on the way as your head comes to face the front. Take a breath in as you turn to the side. Okay, we're going to drop the chin to chest. And lift. Chin lifts slightly. Send those shoulders back down. And again, and back and down. Spread the toes out in the shoes. Make a fist with the hands and open out the fingers. Again, make a fist. Open out. 2 more times. Send the hands to the thighs. We're going to make a circle with the chest. Just slowly, just around, one way, one direction. And then let's go in the other direction. So not really relaxation, but just resetting, ready for you to face the rest of the day. And then set yourself in the center, open your eyes, bring your hands together and give yourself a little round of applause. Well done, lovely people. So practice for your homework. Make sure you have a pen and paper next week. And I'll send you the videos. If you want to do it at home, do it at home. But it's 30 seconds and then a half a circle, not a whole circle. Just a half a circle. So we'll see you next week. Take care. Thanks for joining us. Be safe, be steady. And